Your life as a dictator's bodyguard.
The call comes at 2 in the morning. Not a ring. 3 vibrations. The pattern, that means now. You're dressed and outside his door in 40 seconds. The corridor is empty. The palace is silent in the specific way it gets silent when something is wrong. Your handler is standing at the far end. He looks at you and says 2 words. He knows. You don't ask what he knows. You already understand. Someone in the inner council talked. A name got out. And that name is moving through this building right now like a slow fire. Your handler says he wants to see you. Alone. No guard. No aid. Just you. You've been his personal bodyguard for 4 years. You've stood beside him through 3 coup attempts, 2 assassination plots, and 1 poisoning that the official record says never happened. He has never once asked to see you alone. You walk down that corridor understanding one thing clearly. Whatever happens in the next 10 minutes will decide whether you walk back out. But before we get to that room, we need to go back. Back to how someone ends up here, outside the private quarters of a dictator at 2 in the morning, with everything on the line. 4 years ago, you were Special Forces. 12 years, 3 conflicts. The kind of service record that gets you a handshake from a general and not much else when you're discharged. You moved into private security after that. Corporate clients, executives who wanted someone intimidating at conferences. You were good at it, completely bored by it. Then an old colleague reached out, someone from your unit, who now worked in the kind of security that doesn't have a public-facing name. He said there was a role, overseas, serious money. He couldn't tell you the client until you agreed. You asked what kind of person requires that level of secrecy. He said the kind who can make problems disappear, including the problem of you asking too many questions. He was smiling when he said it. That didn't make it less of a warning. 2 weeks later, you're in a briefing room in a country the UN has formally condemned twice in the last 3 years. 5 former military, all different nationalities, all wearing the same careful expression of men who have agreed to something they haven't fully thought through yet. A man in a dark suit explains the assignment. Inner protection detail. Permanent residency in the palace complex. No personal devices. Family contact through monitored channels only. Offshore account. Monthly deposits. Then he says the name. You know that name. Everyone knows that name. The International Criminal Court knows that name. One of the 5 men in the room stands up and walks out without a word. Nobody stops him. Nobody calls after him. The other 4 stay seated. You stay seated. You told yourself it was just a job, that you were there to protect a person, not endorse one. You kept telling yourself that for about 3 days before you stopped believing it. You meet him on day 2. Not an introduction, he doesn't do those. You're simply in the room when he enters, and that is the meeting. He's shorter than the portrait suggests. Still, compact. He has the quality that very dangerous people sometimes have of moving the room without moving himself. He looks at you for 4 seconds, then looks away. That's the interview. You got the job when you stayed in the chair. Your role is the inner ring. Where the outer detail handles perimeters and vehicles, you handle the 2 meters directly around him. You travel in his car, you eat in his dining room standing, facing the door. You sleep in the room next to his. You are closer to this man than his own family. Within the first week, you understand something that wasn't in the briefing. The outer detail protects him from the world. Your job is to protect him from the people closest to him. That includes everyone in this building. That sometimes includes you. On day 6, an aide pulls you aside. Pleasant tone, like he's recommending a restaurant. He says, "Things that happen here, stay here. Men who forgot that have had difficulty remembering other things. Their children's school routes, their parents' addresses." He smiles. You smile. You both understand each other completely. You are not just a bodyguard. You are now part of the architecture of fear that keeps this man safe. You agreed to that without knowing it, and now you know it, and you're still here. 8 months in, you get the test. You don't know it's a test. You never do until after. You're stationed outside a room in a part of the building you haven't been in before. Lower level, no windows, the kind of quiet that isn't peaceful. You stand there for 90 minutes. You hear things through the door. You don't describe them to yourself. The brain has a mechanism for this. You use it. A man is brought out past you. You recognize him. A colonel. You saw him 3 months ago at a ceremony, standing behind the principal, glass raised, smiling. He cannot hold anything now. Your face doesn't move. Your breathing stays even. Someone is watching you from somewhere you can't see. They're not watching whether you intervene. They know you won't. They're watching whether you flinch. You don't flinch, you pass. A senior guard tells you the next day, almost as a compliment, that 6 previous men didn't make it through that corridor. He doesn't say what happened to them. You didn't protect anyone that night. You proved you could watch something happen and keep working, and that proof cost you something you can't name and can't get back. By year 2, you know him the way a doctor knows a patient, not through conversation, through observation. You know he sleeps in 3-hour cycles, that he's sick, the slow kind that changes a man's relationship with time, that the cruelty is getting more casual as the health gets worse, and you know his pattern. There are always 3 days before someone in the circle disappears. First, he goes quiet. Then he becomes generous. Then the person is gone. You've watched it happen 4 times. You know it cold. Your sister sends 7 messages through the monitored channel. Your mother is unwell. She misses you. She says the money helps, but she'd rather have her brother back. You write back 30 words. Careful ones. You don't say you can't leave. You don't say soon is not a word you control anymore. Then one evening he calls you into his study. He has never done this. He pours 2 glasses of something expensive, slides one across the desk, looks at you for a long time and says, "You're the only one in this building whose face I can read. Everyone else is performing, you're just present. I find that useful." He raises his glass, you raise yours. It's the closest thing to warmth you will ever get from him, and you realize immediately it's also the most dangerous thing that has happened to you since you arrived. Being noticed means being needed. Being needed means you will never leave on your own terms. The door just locked from the outside, and he smiled while it happened. Which brings us back to tonight. The corridor. The 2 a.m. call. His door open. Him standing at the window. Not sitting. He always sits. The not sitting tells you everything. He doesn't turn around when you enter. He says, "Someone in my council is working against me. I need you to find out. Not the intelligence service. Not the security chief. You, because you're the only face he can read." He turns around, and for the first time in 4 years, you see it clearly. The thing underneath the control. The fear. Not of dying, something worse. He's afraid of being alone. Of everyone in this building moving around him in secret while he stands in the center pretending he sees everything. You say, "Yes, sir, I'll find out." Here is what you don't say. You already know. Over the past 2 months, 3 members of the council have made contact with you. Small signals. A word held a beat too long. A folded note near your post. And an envelope left in your room containing a single sentence, "When the time comes, stand aside." You don't know if it's a coup or an extraction or one of his own tests designed to find out exactly who in this building blinks. You've watched him destroy everyone who chose the wrong side at the wrong moment. You've watched it 4 times now. You know the pattern. And tonight you are standing inside that pattern with no right answer. Only a choice and a consequence attached to it either way. He's looking at you right now, reading your face, the one face in this building he trusts. You make sure there is nothing on it to read. 4 years of standing still in front of terrible things, and that skill is the only thing keeping you alive right now. The question is what you do with tomorrow. Assuming you get one,